Here we have our workflow modeler, and you can see there are several algorithms in it for data analysis. So if we click on the load tab, now you can see we have sample iris data that's shown as a scatter chart, and then we can also select the input path for our data. Right, so if we select the filter tab, now you can see that Setosa has been filtered. And with split data, what we can do is split input data into training and test data sets. Right, so by using linear regression algorithms, now we can train that input data. As you can see on the top right, by clicking on the mini map, now we can move the entire plate to adjust the location accordingly. And looking on the right hand side of the screen, you can see we have hundreds of algorithms that we can utilize through drag and drop. And we have Spark-based algorithms as well as Python-based algorithms. All right, so here you can see we can add these charts to our reports. So charts, tables, whatever type you need, you can add that to your report to customize it. All right, so we go back to linear regression training. Now you can see in the center we can set parameters to create a report. We also have global variables that are going to be used later in the Analytics app. All right, so now what we're going to do is create a report. So click there. And here you can see we have the charts and tables created from our workflow modeler. And now you can see we can visualize that information when we're creating our report. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to publish our report. And this is as simple as copying a URL address and pasting it into your web browser. All right, so first what we're going to do is create the Analytics app. So input the general information, things like the name, description, report, and model version created. All right, so now with page component settings, what we can do is enter the title, description, and any sort of tag data, whether we're using statics, regression, or so forth. You can see some examples right there. Now with data and variable settings, what we can do is enter input data and any sort of parameters that we're using that we're setting in our workflow modeler. And then what the final check is going to allow us to do is create an output layout after publishing it. So if we go to simulation, now we can actually see this report, see an example of this report before we publish it. All right, so here you can see the simulation of a report. We can see an example of it beforehand, check to see if everything's okay. And if it is, now we can publish it. So just enter the title, and then we'll copy the URL, paste it into our browser, and now we can access our report. All right, so here we have to select the input data, enter the parameters that we want to use, and now we run the simulation. All right, so now what we can see is a report created from models running with the user's own data and their own selected parameters.